In the last video, we assembled this. We put all the parts together into assembly, and I forgot to tell you to make sure you do the save as, and to make sure you're in your iDrive again. Now, right now, you don't see the parts, the other parts in there, but they're in there. This is just like specific for that. So we're gonna, yep. So we're gonna say puzzle cube assembly. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to learn about our final type of file. Our final type of file is a drawing file. So we're going to do a standard IDW file. Okay, and I highly, 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 highly recommend watching this whole thing. We learned about how to make your drawings before this. So I'm going to press base. And the first thing I'm going to do is find our original file. So we'll go to our, let me go slower. I'll press base, and I press this button here. And right now I'm on downloads, but I'm going to find my iDrive, and that's my puzzle cube. And we'll start on our first piece. Now, if you remember, we always want the best kind of look right on the top bottom left corner. And then you'll drag, so I kind of moved it right to make sure I had that. So that's what that J looks like. And I'll drag it over here. Notice how it lines up. See the dotted line? If we did it down here, it doesn't really line up. It'll look different. So I'll do here, and this automatically makes it lined up. Then it's okay for the isometric one to be kind of off because you want it isometric. And then you'll bring it over here, and look how perfect that is. See how it's lined up? Here you can't really see it. Now you can. Okay, so now we have the top, front, right view along with the isometric. If you want to, you can press this button to make it shaded. And now we have that. Okay, we will also want to dimension it. Sorry, that's an annotate. And we can press dimension. And so we'll bring that up. I know it's kind of hard to see. That's okay. So that's 3. That's 1. And if you remember, we always do it from a side, right? And then I would do it over here for this height, but I don't want to cross lines. We could do it here, but we don't want to use a dotted line. Here we'll have to cross lines, but that's a better option than the dotted line. And then finally, we've got over here. So that's our first part, fully dimensioned. We'll press OK, and we're going to add. Nope. We're going to right click and press new sheet. So we were on the first sheet before, and that's just by right clicking. Right click, not left click, right click, and go to new sheet. And we'll do the same thing for the second part. So we did blue, now we've got green, and we'll try and find, I think this is probably the best angle, and I'll move it up just so it's not in line with that. I've got here, here, and then there. And many students like it to be colored, so you can press this button right here, the shaded button, and it'll be colored. Oh no, it's not colored because I probably clicked it twice. That's okay. If you double click here, you can get back in there, and now it's colored. Double click there, get back in there. We'll press annotate. Okay. So from here to here, that's great. It's one dimension. Got another one. You still want to follow those basic rules. Then we need to find the dimension from here. I know we're crossing a line, but it's better than doing the hidden line. And remember, this is the same as this, so this dimension right here is probably better. Now, I also want to mention, if you double click in here, sorry, I'm going to press escape a couple times to kind of get out of that. If I double click here and I change the scale, you could make it bigger or smaller. But we could just leave it to 1:1 for now. Now we're going to do another one. So now we're going to do our assembly. And our assembly can kind of be like that. That's fine. And that's great. I want them colored. Okay, before we finish this, I'm going to make one more thing. We're going to make a presentation. And we will find our iDrive again, Puzzle Cube, and that's assembly. That's great. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a new part. We're going to press Tweak Component. Click on the part, kind of drag it apart. You press Enter. And like sometimes you would have to do it multiple times, do different components, but that's great for this one. And I'll save that. It's already in our iDrive. We call that an explosion. So we'll go back here. One more, new sheet. And that is what we want, but if it's not for you, then we can make it bigger if we want. That's like a different view. Oh no, it didn't turn color because I forgot to click that. That's great. If you want to move it after that, that's fine. You're also going to want to create a parts list. I went too fast for that. Parts list. We're going to find it. So for that, it's right there. And then our last thing is we're going to balloon it. So press balloon, click, bring down, bring over, double click, click, bring down, bring over. So like that's part 1, part 2, which correspond here. So now you're going to go on your own and do this for your own parts. Good job. Hopefully you don't have any questions, or if you do, please ask me.